Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So finally, some good news, at least better news to report, because we haven't really had any good news to report in quite some time. So the most dangerous fighter at 168 calls out Jermall Charlo. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, Jermall Charlo has been talking about moving up to 168, and he's been calling out David Benavidez for almost over a year. He's been talking about moving up to 168. And every time he mentioned moving up, he would only mention David Benavidez's name. That's the only guy that he's been interested in facing. So once again, David Benavidez, he's responding to Jermall Charlo and what Jermall Charlo just said recently. Because Jermall Charlo just recently said he's moving up to 168 and he mentioned David Benavidez's name again. But this was the first time that Benavidez actually called out Charlo after hearing Charlo mention his name. So this is exactly what David Benavidez said directly to Jermall Charlo, I believe on his Instagram account. He said, "We can make it happen in September if you're really about it, Jermall Charlo." Then in a more recent interview, David, he said, "That would be a big fight. I would love to fight Charlo. He says he will knock me out, but I'm going to knock him out. Whenever he wants, I think it would be a great fight. People would love to see that fight. So I'm all in for it," end quote. Now, the only thing that had concerned me a little bit about this news when it comes to David Benavidez saying this is I don't know if David Benavidez, if he called out Jermall Charlo on his Instagram and then deleted the post. Because I was told about this by a couple different people a couple hours back, but I didn't report on it then because once again, the post was no longer there. So I didn't want to report on this until I knew it was actual fact. And once I started getting links of people sending me articles, that's when I went ahead and I decided to do a video on it. So I just think that's kind of strange. If that's what happened, I don't understand why David Benavidez would call out Jermall Charlo and then delete the post. I don't know what's going on with that. But I tell you right now, we really desperately need this fight for 2021. The fact that we're no longer going to get T.O. versus Devin Haney, we're no longer going to get Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. We're most likely not going to get Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. The only fight we really have to look forward to is Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. And even though that is a great matchup, it's still a little bittersweet because there's still unfinished business with Deontay Wilder. But Tyson Fury already made it clear he doesn't care if he has to pay Deontay Wilder millions and millions of dollars. He says he's refusing to ever fight Wilder again. And then you have the situation with Shakur Stevenson where everyone is avoiding Shakur. First it was Oscar Valdez who's been completely avoiding Shakur. But then I thought, okay, Valdez is not going to fight Shakur, but surely Burchell will fight him. But Burchell just recently came out and said he's not going to fight Shakur because he doesn't like his style. So that means this year we're not going to get Shakur Stevenson versus Valdez or Burchell. And that is the reason why this fight between Jermall Charlo and David Benavidez, it really has to happen. And this is a fight that both David Benavidez and Charlo, they need desperately. Because whoever wins this fight, it will put tremendous pressure on Canelo Alvarez and everyone else at 168 to fight the winner of this fight. Right now, Canelo Alvarez, he continues to say he's no longer fighting Mexicans at the time, and we know that he's no longer fighting undefeated black fighters. And that's the reason why Canelo Alvarez is the pound-for-pound king of Europe. I mean, his schedule is already set for the year. He's either fighting someone from Europe or someone of Europe descent. So while Canelo is on his mission to conquer Europe, two of the most avoided fighters at 168, David Benavidez and Jermall Charlo, they're willing to actually fight against the best, whether the opponent is black, white, Latino, or Asian. So hopefully we get this fight. You know, the fact that David is not only calling him out, but he's offering a date to make the fight. And this will be one of the easiest fights to make because of the simple fact that Jermall Charlo and David Benavidez, they're both PBC fighters. They both work with Al Heyman. So I'm really hoping that Jermall Charlo's next fight will be at 168. That will be a good sign. If his next fight is at 160, that won't be a good sign. And I'll tell you guys something else. If Jermall Charlo actually signs to take that David Benavidez fight, that would mean that he would rather fight David Benavidez at a higher weight class than Demetrius Andrade. So if he signs that contract and takes this Benavidez fight over an Andrade fight, that means that Jermall Charlo has an enormous amount of confidence when it comes to beating a David Benavidez. But the fact that Benavidez is calling him out means he has the confidence as well. I give David Benavidez even more credit because even his dad just recently admitted that that's a tough fight. Matter of fact, David's own father said that fight is actually a tougher fight than the Canelo fight. He said this will be our toughest fight against Charlo. That says a lot right there. And after he says that, his son calls out Jermall Charlo. So you got to give David and you got to give Charlo a lot of credit. Because right now, once Charlo moves up to 168, it will be safe to say that these two guys are the most avoided fighters in the division. And they're going up against each other. That would be huge. And like I said, because there are so many good fights that we could have got that we most likely won't get to see this year, that would make this fight even bigger. Hopefully this fight happens. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. Basically, you will end up with a haircut shape up or an edge up. What they do is they tattoo small dots that look like hair follicles in the areas where you have lost your hair and then blend it with your existing hair. You can even choose what type of hairline you want, hard shape up or soft and natural finish. And to maintain it, all you gotta do is shave your hair every few days, which is something you already were probably doing anyway. Make sure you go ahead and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Deki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodeki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.